Aquarius, May 2026. The warrior who forgot they already won. Now, this is a reading for the battle weary soul. Your cards just told me you've been living like you in a war zone when the battle already ended 3 months ago. You're standing in the ashes of something that went mucky, completely, brutally, finally, and you're still swinging at ghosts. The Ten of Swords doesn't show up to ruin your day. It shows up to tell you, congratulations, you survived the thing that was supposed to destroy you. But here is where it gets interesting and a little pathetic, if I'm being honest. Instead of dusting yourself off and walking toward that gorgeous sunrise on the horizon, you're having a full-blown identity crisis. Strength reverse means you doubting everything, your courage, your worth, your stability to handle literally anything. You're emotionally unhinged, burned out. And here's the kicker. You're doing it to yourself. I know, Lolo, right? Now, the real problem is you stay addicted to survival mode. And here's what nobody tells you about hitting rock bottom. The fall doesn't kill you. The refusal to get back up does. The root issue, Six of Swords reversed, reveals you've been stuck for way longer than necessary. You knew you needed to leave that toxic relationship, that soul-crushing job, that city that never felt like home, but you didn't. How come? Because staying in hell felt safer than risking the unknown. You drag your baggage everywhere like a security blanket made of trauma. And when your intuition, High Priestess Reversed, screamed at you to move, you shoved it down, ignored the signs, and let logic convince you that maybe it's not that bad. Spoiler alert, it was that bad. And now you're aiming for resilience, Nine of Wands, like it's some kind of Olympic sport. You want to prove you can take more hits, endure more pain, and survive more chaos. But here's a truth bomb you need to hear. Resilience isn't about how much you can endure. It's about knowing when to stop fighting and start rebuilding. The shift from survivor to architect. The recent past shows you finally stop ignoring yourself. Five of Cups reversed is the moment you turn around and saw those two cups still standing. The moment you realize that, yeah, three cups spilled and that sucks, but you're not actually empty. You're healing. You're forgiving yourself. You're choosing to focus on what's still possible instead of what's permanently broken. And that, my friend, is where the magic starts. But here is where it gets messy. Your external world is still fucked up. Queen of Cups reverse shows you emotionally drained. You've been everyone's therapist, everyone's rock, everyone's emotional support human. And now your well is bone dry. You cannot pour from an empty cup, and yet you keep trying because you think that's what good people do. Newsflash, martyrdom isn't noble. It's just slow motion self-destruction. with better public relations. In your environment, the Emperor Reversed reveals either A, you're dealing with a tyrannical authority figure, boss, parent, partner, who's micromanaging you into oblivion, or B, you've completely abdicated your own authority and you're letting life happen to you instead of for you. Neither option is cute. And this is the wake-up call you've been ignoring. Judgment upright in your hopes and feels position is screaming at you. You know you're being called to something bigger. You know there's a life-altering decision waiting for you. You know you need to integrate everything you learn and step into your highest self. But how come you're scared? Maybe because transformation means letting go of the identity you built in survival mode. It means admitting that the person who got you through the crisis isn't the same person who gets to enjoy the aftermath. Just remember, you have to die to be reborn. Yeah, and that's scary as hell. So now, the uncomfortable truth about justice reversed. The final outcome, justice reversed, isn't a punishment. It's a warning. If you keep running from accountability, if you keep avoiding the truth, if you keep pretending that imbalance is just how life is, you're going to stay stuck in this cycle forever. You'll keep attracting unfair situations because you haven't learned to demand fairness for yourself. You'll keep feeling like a victim because you refuse to acknowledge where you played a role in your own suffering. And you'll keep wondering why karma never shows up for people who wronged you, while completely ignoring that karma is also waiting for you to get your ass moving. So now, here's what you actually need to do. One, stop fighting. The war is over. Put down your weapons and actually rest. Two, establish boundaries. You're not a rehabilitation center for broken people. Protect your energy like it's the last $100 in your bank account. Three, face yourself. Journal, meditate, sit in uncomfortable silence as you ask yourself the questions you've been avoiding. Like, what role did I play in this? What patterns keep repeating? What am I really afraid of? Four, choose unity over division. Stop splitting yourself into the strong you and the weak you. You're one person who contains multitudes. Honor all of it. Five, demand balance. If a situation, relationship, or job requires you to sacrifice peace, it's not worth it. Period. You didn't survive everything you've been through just to live a mediocre, fear-based, emotionally bankrupt life. The universe handed you a rebirth. The question is, are you brave enough to actually be reborn? Or are you going to keep clutching the corpse of who you used to be? Your move. You know, I ask myself if this reading feels like one is dissolving the ego and returning to source. And for sure, absolutely, 100% without question. Here's why this reading is screaming ego death and return to source. The Ten of Swords, the ego's complete annihilation. That's just not a bad day. That's the total destruction of the identity you built. It's the dark night of the soul, where everything you thought you were gets obliterated. Strength reversed, the ego fighting back. That desperate, flailing attempt to maintain control when control is the last thing you need. It's the part of you that says, I have to be strong, when what you actually need is surrender. The root, Six of Swords reversed, refusing to cross the river, clinging to the shore of the old self because the journey to the other side means dissolving into the unknown. High Priestess Reversed, disconnection from the divine feminine, from intuition, from source itself. You literally cut yourself off from the inner knowing that would guide you home. And then the shift happens. Five cups of reversed. The moment you stop mourning the death of the ego and start seeing what remains, essence, pure consciousness. The two cups that were always there, judgment, in your hopes and fears. This is literally the resurrection card, the call from the divine, the angel's trumpet saying, wake up, remember who you really are. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering you were never the small, scared, survival mode identity in the first place. But here's the shadow side. Justice reverse, as the outcome warns, you can resist this dissolution. You can cling to victimhood. You can refuse accountability. You can keep playing small and blaming external circumstances. The ego doesn't die easily. It fights like hell. And if you don't consciously choose to surrender into source, you'll just keep recycling the same patterns with different characters. So yes, this is a spiritual initiation. You're being invited to dissolve the false self. Ten of Swords. Surrender control. Strength reversed healing. Remember your true nature. Judgment. Integrate shadow and light. Justice calling for balance. Return to wholeness. The unity. This isn't just getting through a hard time. This is the soul's journey back home. The question is, will you let the old you die gracefully? Or are you going to drag this corpse around for another decade? So that's it, Aquarius. That's your reading for May 2026. And if you guys like some cool free shit, take a look at the description below. Mahalo. And we'll catch you guys on the flip.